What's up and welcome back to another video. Guys, today I'm going to be answering some of your questions. As always, if you have any questions that you'd like me to answer in the next installment of this series, leave them down below in the comment section of this video and I'll try my best to get to them in the next episode. But without further ado, let's get right on into this video. Our first question for today comes from Atlas, and they ask, what Revenge of the Sith themed UCS sets do I think that we will get? And unfortunately, if we're talking about this year, it looks like the two UCS / Master Builder series sets that we're going to get have already been leaked / rumored. The first one that's pretty much confirmed to come out is that UCS Jango Fett's Slave 1, which I am super excited for, but it does, take up the spot for something that could have been Revenge of the Sith themed. And then also there is a rumored Master Builder series set that's going to be Endor themed, based on the planet, not the show, being either an Ewok village or a Endor bunker, which I think both those sets are really cool and I'm really excited to get them, but I really did want to see something for the 20th anniversary of Revenge of the Sith because that is the year that we're in, and I feel like LEGO's kind of missing out on an opportunity. Now, it's not to say that they're going to release another UCS set this year, it's just normally they do two of those big sets a year, if I'm not mistaken, and I think that Master Builder series will probably take the slot of another UCS set, but I hope I'm wrong. I hope that we do get a UCS Revenge of the Sith set because I think it's the perfect time to get it, and I don't think we've ever gotten one, if I'm not mistaken. Let me know in the comments if we have and I'm just mistaken there, but I think it would be the perfect opportunity to get one. There's a ton of really cool things that they could do. There's two really glaring things that come out to me. Well, there's a few, but I think one that a lot of fans would like to see would be the Anakin and Obi-Wan's interceptors in like a little double pack. I think that would look really, really cool on display, and it would just fit really well, especially for that opening scene of the movie. It's so iconic. I think another like niche kind of one would be the Invisible Hand. I think that could be a really cool UCS set that we could see based on Revenge of the Sith. That one's probably a lot less likely as it is kind of niche, and I think they'd go for something a bit bigger and more recognizable for a set like that. And then the other one that I would love to see would be a UCS Arc 170 at that $240 mark. I think that could be really cool. Super good ship. I'm very biased because it's one of my favorite ships, but overall, there's a ton of really cool things that they could do, and I'm hoping that they do make one this year. However, based on the leaks, it's not really looking likely, but I hope that I'm proven wrong. Zachary asks, do I think that they will fix the 2/12 incorrect helmet printing in the future sets, or will they be lame and double down? And normally when they do have inaccuracies with clone troopers, or just honestly any figure, they kind of keep the figure that they have in printing, in the print running as it is. They don't really change it until they make an updated version. So I think we are probably stuck with this version of the 2/12 until we get new clone troopers, which could take anywhere between, you could see them next year, as soon as next year, or it could be a couple of years down the line. It really just depends on when they do some changes. There are some rumors that clones are going to be getting a big change in 2025. However, I don't really know if I believe that, given that we don't really have any big clone sets rumored, so I don't know how they could slip them into any of the sets. But I would love to see them fix it. I think this, especially compared to the one that we got previously in the battle pack, it's just so much, the older one is so much better, so much more accurate, so I don't know why they couldn't just reproduce that. Unfortunately, this is the one that we got, and unfortunately, I feel like we're going to be stuck with this one for a little bit, but I'm hoping they do fix it when they make their new clone troopers. Hackerman asked, if I could pick two Revenge of the Sith minifigures to be made, what would I pick? And I think the two ones that I would like to see the most would be an updated version of Anakin in his Episode 3 style. I think that could be really nice. I think we're kind of overdue, like the Palpatine's Arrest style Anakin with these Sith eyes could be really, really nice, because I'm pretty sure that one's exclusive to Palpatine's Arrest, as well as we kind of got one on the Duel of Mustafar set, but it's not really the same. So I think something like that, maybe like a March on the Temple Anakin Skywalker could be really cool. I think the second one that stands out to me is an updated version of Count Dooku. Count Dooku being one of my favorite characters, so I would just love to see a new minifigure adaptation of him. Even though the old one still holds up to today's standards, I think a new one would be really nice. But there's just a ton of really cool stuff that we could get. You could also take the route of some of the cool clone troopers, and I think then the really obvious ones that I think are a little less likely than the two that I already stated, being the Galactic Marines, a Commander Bakara, and then some of the other Jedi. You could get like a Shaak Ti, a Kit Fisto, Plo Koon, Aayla Secura. There's just so many really cool characters that you could get from Episode 3 that unfortunately it's not looking likely that we're going to get them. But let me know down below in the comments which Episode 3 character you'd love to see get a LEGO minifigure adaptation in the next year. Because there's just so many good ones to get, but LEGO can only make so many, and I wish they were doing a few more sets for the anniversary of Revenge of the Sith. Cartoon Wars asks, since cloth wastegapes are likely not to return, do I think LEGO should bring back the plastic ones? And I'm not so sure about that. When we're looking at the wastegapes here, you can see right here we have the unprinted one on, or just the printed one on the right side. In the middle, we have the plastic one, and on the left, we have the cloth one. And in my opinion, the cloth one just looks the best and works the best, especially when you look at the sides. I think it becomes very apparent the issues with the printed one, and that's that the printed one does not go all the way around. It's only on the front, so it looks really bad on the sides. And you know, that's something that it would be fixed with the plastic one, but the big issue with the plastic one is that when you can't really put your minifigure's arms all the way down, and if you do, it puts stress on the arm. Oops, this is hard to do with one hand. It puts stress on the arm as well as the torso, which can make it more prone to cracking, which, you know, I still think it would be nice to get this over nothing. However, I think it's even more unlikely to get the plastic back than it would be to get the cloth back. And in my opinion, cloth is just superior. And there's also a rumor circulating around that cloth wastegapes will be making a comeback in 2025. Do I think that that's very reputable? I wouldn't say so. I have not heard it from anyone that's reputable yet. So when that happens, maybe I would love to see it happen. Don't get me wrong, but it really isn't looking too likely in my opinion. But I would love to see it make a comeback because I just think it looks so much better than what we get normally. Like looking at this clone from the back, he looks naked. It just doesn't look right. I think he should definitely get that wastecape back. Like I said though, I don't think that we would get plastic back. I think if we got them back, it would definitely stick to being cloth. Shaw Gamer asks, do I think that we could get the Mandalorian Season 2 Juggernaut? And I think, yes, there is a possibility, but if we were to get a Juggernaut or a Turbo Tank, I feel like it would either be Clone Wars or Revenge of the Sith themed, or maybe even an Imperial themed one. I know that the Mandalorian Season 2 one is also a Imperial themed one, but I feel like we would get the weaponized bigger one and not the transport one from Season 2. Although I would love to see that made into a set, but I think I would just prefer to get the clone themed one, as I am a big Clone Wars and prequels fan, as I think most people would be to see that. But overall, I think just getting a Juggernaut in the first place, I would be happy to see. However, I would prefer it to be themed after the Clone Wars. Pufferfish asks, do I think that LEGO will make more battle droid sets? For example, an MTT, they can make them the same price as the ATTE to go alongside it. And I think this is something that LEGO has been missing out on for quite a long time. They need to be selling these droid ships or the opposition for the clones, because I would buy them. I feel like they would sell very well, especially an MTT. It's such an iconic vehicle, and it's a very fan-loved vehicle. So I'm surprised that we haven't seen a remake. I just think it would sell very well. And there's a ton of other really cool droid ships that we have not gotten that I think we should get, like a Separatist landing shuttle, some of the different tanks, some of the different capital ships. There's just so many really cool vehicles that we could get that we have not gotten, because LEGO tends to focus on the clone side of things when they do focus on the Clone Wars or the prequels, which, don't get me wrong, I love the clones. If you know me, I'm a huge clone fan. However, I think the Separatists need to be shown some love, because there's so many cool things that we could get that LEGO just is not making. Max Chanera asks, what is my favorite item in my collection? And I think, well, I guess this first thing is kind of a collection of items, and that is my Rebels collection of minifigures that I'm trying to complete. We're getting very, very close. I just need a couple more, and this, I guess, wouldn't count because it's not just one thing, it's a collection of things. So if I had to pick one thing, it would have to be the set that I love the most in my collection, being Palpatine's Arrest. I finally got this one. It was one that I always had my eyes on. It was the first, like, big set that I ever, first big retired set that I ever got, so it does mean a lot to me. It's a set that I always wanted as a kid but was never able to get, and I finally got one, and it's definitely my favorite item in my collection as of right now. Tom Archer, thank you for the kind words, and their question is, do I think that there will be a turbo tank next year? And I think it's definitely a possibility, maybe not in what we have leaked so far, but I know that there is a gap in the summer wave of sets, and that is normally when we do get our big clone sets in the past years that we have. So I think a turbo tank could definitely be the set that we get. I think it's a really long overdue set. I think the turbo tank is such an iconic vehicle, so I'd love to see LEGO make one, and I think the play scale would be the best way for us to get it versus at UCS, just because it'd be more accessible. And overall, I would say it's pretty likely. I think it's definitely something on LEGO's radar, and if we don't get it this year, I would be surprised if we didn't see it in the coming, I would say, probably in the next 2 years, I would expect to see one. However, don't quote me on that. I do not know for sure, but I would love to see one, and let me know what mock that you are thinking about building with that turbo tank. Sergio Threat asks, do I think that LEGO will ever make Phase 1 named clones in the future? And if they do, who do I think they will make first? And I think if you're thinking about the 2008 style or Clone Wars Clone Troopers, unfortunately, it's not looking likely that we will ever see them again in Phase 1. Just given that was so long ago, we don't really get Clone Wars themed sets based on the Phase 1 era of Clone Wars, which I kind of am sad about because I'm a huge fan of those 2008 style Clone Troopers, if you know me. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm sure that they could do a throwback set at some point in the future. However, I do think it's unlikely. So I think if we do get Phase 1 Clone Troopers anytime in the future, they're going to be based on Episode 2, which I still think are pretty good. It's just in Episode 2, you don't really get the named Clone Troopers too often. Yes, you get the captains, the commanders, all like the unnamed, the lieutenants and stuff like that, which I think are really cool with their unique markings. And I think I wouldn't be surprised if we saw those again in the future, but unfortunately, can't really think. I doubt that we would get like per se like a Captain Rex or a Commander Cody in that style. I feel like if we were to get them, they would be in that 2008 style. However, I don't think LEGO will ever revisit the 2008 style, which kind of sucks to think about. I think they're really cool and they're some of my favorite Clone Troopers that LEGO has ever made. So I hope that they do. It's just not really looking likely, but if they do make something, I feel like it would definitely be based on the Episode 2 style Clone Troopers. Rachel White asks, what clone battle packs do I think are going to come out in 2025? And unfortunately, as of right now, it looks like none. The one battle pack that was rumored to be going around that has eventually been leaked is a Night Troopers battle pack, which some people are very excited for. Me, I'm not really looking forward to it that much. I wasn't a huge fan of Ahsoka, so I wouldn't really look to army build the Night Troopers. But I think if we were to get a Clone Trooper battle pack, there's still a possibility for one more battle pack to come out in 2025. And I think the no-brainer for LEGO here, that would be the easiest for them to do, would be that 212th battle pack. I know there's a lot of people who aren't a fan of the new 212th Clone Troopers that we got with the issues in the accuracy and some other discrepancies alongside them. But I think getting the 212th Clone Troopers, getting that Crab Droid, and maybe another small build would be something that LEGO could do pretty easily, and the Crab Droid's definitely a very overdue build. So I think LEGO could easily do that. However, I think it would be much better for us to get a new Clone Trooper that we haven't seen before. You know, you could get the Galactic Marines, you could get the Wolf Pack, you could get the Star Corps, you could get so many cool Clone Troopers out there. You know, the Kashyyyk Troopers could make a return. Just so many cool Clone Troopers that I want LEGO to make. But unfortunately, if LEGO were to make a battle pack, I think they'd take the easy way out and just make either the 212th or some of the other clones we've seen before, like the Shock Troopers or the 501st. Dirk asks, how many misprints do I have? And I have 2 misprints that I know of. I'm sure that I might have some other ones just here and there that I haven't actually noticed are misprints, but the 2 major ones that I do know of are first this Clone Wars Anakin. As you can see, it's supposed to have this little yellow thing on the belt, and I have one right here that is missing it, which is actually pretty cool. I don't think I've ever seen any others like this, so I don't know. It's just a cool one. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. It's kind of just been sitting in my collection. I think it's a cool one to have. I'm not really huge into misprints, but I think it's also just a nice thing to kind of have because they are very unique. So this is one that I have, and then the other one that I have is one that I actually just recently got in a little, I guess, mystery pack video where I got a bunch of astromech droids, and it is this Chopper minifigure. You can see right here you have the normal one on the right with nice straight printing, and then this one is just really off-centered. It goes up at an angle. Very interesting. I haven't seen one like that either. So there's the 2 misprints that I have. I think they're pretty cool, and I don't know. I don't really necessarily collect them, but I think it's a cool thing to have, so I'll definitely probably hold on to these 2. That is going to do it for this video. Thank you for everyone who asked a question, as well as everyone for watching this video. If you have any questions you'd like me to answer in the next installment of this series, let me know down below in the comment section, and I'll try my best to get to them in the next episode. Thank you all so much for watching. Stay safe. Drew, signing out.